Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Game 3 of the SRL Kangaroos tour here in Glasgow. Tonight, Scotland is looking to bounce back from their narrow 20-16 loss in England, while the Kangaroos are aiming to keep their momentum rolling after a dominant 40-12 win over EU. I'm joined in the commentary box tonight with my also John Boy Maiava, who we're both coming off a big 40-6 win over Tonga last week. And I know I can't wait to break down this action we've got here. But John Boy, what are you expecting from tonight's game?
No, well, Phils, no, I'm keen for a massive hit out from the Scottish team. If anyone had caught the tail end of their game against England, they came back hissing and roaring in that second half. And you'd expect, with 80 minutes now under their belt, that this Australian team is going to be in for it tonight. I'm going to be playing my favourite game of tonight of Will Sonny keep his job? And at the end of the 80 minutes, we're about to find out.
Well, I mean, look, I think he might keep his job, especially if he's done some kicking training as well. We all know that the school of Sonny Tyres kicking has probably been shut down for a good reason. Jokes aside, let's get underway here with Bruce Buckley with the first hit-up of the game. Into a strong Australian lineup there. You can see the sea of yellow jerseys for Australia as Ethan Goodwin looks to step up against his father, Brad, today. That's a great way to get started. That's some good footwork from the young fella there. As Amac now the captain, he'll hit us up over the 40-metre line, right in the middle of that Kangaroos tour logo. I guess, John Boy, for both sides here, I guess, what are you kind of looking for them to do to get ahead? Oh, my goodness, Carl Lewis. Jeez. Oh, I might have a bit of technical issues with John Boy here as Corey Bell makes a breakaway run here. He gets taken down with the defence there. We'll try and cross back over to John Boy in a moment, but Luke Malchus, here we go.
No, Lucky. Apologies for that. I was taken out by an angry Tongan fan. As we resume the action on the 10, quick ball out right. And that is Sonny Tyre with a hit up there. I was engaged. Pritlove, talk to me about the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're a couple minutes in. We had some good runs there from the Scotland team. Obviously, that big Luke Malchus break there. And Will Kay now trying to get over, but he's held up as we get to last tackle. Australia now with an attacking kick. Butterfield with the very sharp attacking kick there. But Nilsson, he'll recover that one nicely.
Yeah, great first set from the Australian team. You can really see the class that Luke Malchus brings to a side. I think with Sonny still tinkering with his lineup, trying to see where Malchus best fits in. I quite like where he's got him right now in the front row. I think that's where Malchus does his most damage, is in those short control bursts where he can just go hard for a 20 minutes stint, come back and then contribute, later on the piece. Big hit on Nielsen, get that into your son. Welcome to the big leagues. As we see Scotland try to spread it on their 30. Ethan Goodwin, I think probably one of their best backs last week against England. I think some of your more experienced performers like Kyle Lewis and Hugh Snow probably struggled to stand up, you'd say, that first half. And now, I think, with the benefit of playing Australia now, you'll see Scotland trying to ease into their work. Look, I wouldn't say that these games don't matter, but with the World Cup coming up in a season, you'd say you take a loss now, right?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of exactly what this period is for. It's to get the gears turning as we do head towards the road to the World Cup, and it's closing in pretty rapidly when you think about it. Season 10 is just a couple of weeks away, I'd assume, and I mean, 20 or so weeks after that, we're going to be back here again, clashing for the prestigious SRL World Cup, and it's their first World Cup, correct?
If I'm correct, yes, we had the Mines a few seasons ago, but as Dolan breaks a tackle, he's going to take him on, but not quite fast enough there. And so, yes, it'd be our first major 13-a-side tournament, which is a huge step forward for the SRL. I think the introduction of a proper international schedule has done wonders for this league.
Absolutely, and you kind of see the whole SRL community getting around it, especially with the creation of jerseys being outsourced, more people getting hands-on in terms of the field markings and with all the stuff you can do with the game as well, with rugby league. So I'm very excited for a SRL World Cup as we see another Goodwin, Beck Goodwin, I believe that is.
Yeah, she's an angry little rag and runs hard. The good ones were pretty good. I think that's a drop ball by the Scottish there. It's a coach killer. We saw this last week against England. They had a real sloppy first 40, and I watched that thing. Oh, it's over for them. And they managed to bring it back in that last 40. But you'd think that AMAC wants to focus on starting well today. Because, let's be real, if you give this Australian team as Chris Lord takes it, the noted Cook Islander, proud son of Ayataki, makes a break over the 50. But you know that if you give this Australian team any momentum, they'll take it fully. So, job for the Scottish boys, for the tilt for the cut of Tartan, is to get up and get over this Australian team early.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and the Bravehearts, as you mentioned off the back of their last week performance, 20-6, nail biting towards the end. I think if anyone can do it, I think the Bravehearts, Scotland, I think they can put up a good fight against Australia. We've seen that they're not invincible. They have had a chink in their armour in that first week against Mediterranean. So I'm keen to see what Scotland can do, and that's a great catch under pressure from Jack Jimmy.
Yeah, probably pressure reliever they're kicking there from the Australians. You would have won that a little bit more shallow as Bruce Buckley takes a hit up. Look, the Australians started really well against Mediterranean, faded out as Goodwin goes through there. Don't know which one it is, don't really care. Really good play. And it's up on the 50 now. But Goodwin, again, I'm getting deja vu. Speaking of Goodwin's though, I feel it's a family matchup today, isn't it? Pretty?
Absolutely. You got Ethan Beck and sorry, I just can't see my team. We got Ethan Beck and Jasper Goodwin all facing off against Brad Goodwin. He is at number 15 for the Australian squad. So we'll see him come into the match in probably another 10 minutes. And that is an absolute massive hit off the ball there. Absolutely spilled his lollies. There was Will Kay there, left to clean it all up.
That's a fantastic hit. And this Australia is Sonny Tyre supposed to get someone bring him down, please. So someone bring him down as Sonny Tyre makes a huge run up the middle there. The big 7, 9, 13. He plays everywhere, Sonny. He brings some much needed composure and experience to this Australian team. The proud son of the Cook Islands, Sonny Tyre. But right now he is the captain of an Australian team that is still figuring out its identity, you'd have to say, Josh?
Yeah, and he's the captain of Australia who's decided that now is the time for him to actually do something. That was a really good run from him. And Josh Butterfield with another really good run. As we do head upstairs, just to double check, have a look at this one here. Original call of no try, and I can't see anything there, but
no, that's clearly ground. He's clearly grounded on the white line, Pretlove. Yeah, no try there. You know, you probably a waste of time, but it gives Scotland a breather at the very least.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the bunker made that decision. If that was the camera angle they were looking at, that's
KCK's got him here.
Interesting, and fantastic run from KCK.
He's a master being the first up tackler there, and no try, but he's clearly grounded. There's a smidge of white line there.
He looks a little bit short.
I'm not Colombian, but I am expert in white lines, and that looks like a try to me.
That's a good run from KCK. And good determination to get that ball over there, but not be too eager to try and lift it up in double movement there. So great awareness.
Well, you know, future Penrith Panther and Chapman Kenny, just one of the legendary fullbacks of the game. He's resumed his normal, fullback spot, but he's been fantastic so far today as well. There is a sense of dread every time he gets the ball for your tackler, and I'm looking forward to him being on my side come next season.
Yeah, and I believe that KCK announced his retirement from finals as well with that move too, heading to Penrith.
I just know where he joined the Cowboys. Sorry. As Carl Lewis, another future Panther, goes to kick the ball here. Carl Lewis, of their two halves, probably the meter eater between him and Hugh Snow. Hugh Snow, obviously, as well, coming off a grand final campaign with the Dolphins. They count themselves unlucky, I think, to go down to the Storm there, but it's a fantastic Storm side, and once again, congratulations to Will Kay. Maybe you're not the bum I thought you were. As Australia spreads the ball, William, speak of the devil, gets smoked naturally. Noted slug, Will Kay. As Australians set up now again, crossing line, Chris Lord. Cards it up just about 37 there. I can't count, I dropped out in primary school. As Australia spreads again, Kevin Walmsley, he comes off a double against Europe. Fantastic game from him. The future Rabbitoh, if I'm not mistaken, maybe some favouritism there from Sonny Tyre. As James Thorne, the Storm hooker, take it up for them. Thoughts on that set so far, Pretlove?
Yeah, look, good attacking set from Australia. That's a monster of a kick from Butterfield there to get it from the 10. Dolan with some good steps, only did try to throw there, but couldn't fool the defence. as we go back through aim.
Flat ball.
I guess that's as flat as you could call it.
Yeah, seriously. And
As we
Kane
see
Nielsen
Luke
makes a
Milk,
break
great.
there, brought down. Those are great hands, Dustin Richards. What do you think the keys in the set are, Bretlove?
Sorry, what was that one there?
What do you think the keys to the set are here?
The keys to the set here. You definitely have to roll down the field. I do like the late offloads there. Very risky, very, very risky getting the late offloads. But from right now, big attack kick. Put the bomb.
That's a low kick. I'm not in trouble here as Dom Pongston turns him inside out. But he's put down from the inside. He's not a man you really want to be kicking to too often, but you've got to pick your poison between Dom Pongston and I believe, let me check the team list, but the other winger is Corey Bell, so it doesn't get any easier there.
Yeah, I mean, you got Corey Bell and Dom Pongston on the wings, and then at fullback you got Casey K. So, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to kick to any of those guys, but you got to pick one of them, I guess.
That's fair enough. There's another late offer to Lockie Cox coming off a storming campaign for these Dolphins. You'd have to say he's probably one of the form second rowers the season just passed. As Luke Malkas, another line break offload. Chris Lord settles for them, and now left or right, Pretlove?
I'm going to go right.
Naturally, they go left.
Yeah, this is why I
puts up a dangerous looking kick there, but safely negotiated by Justin Dolan. Would you say disappointing into that set?
I mean, yeah, look, 18 minutes, and you'd probably think that now they'd be looking to kind of attack the line a bit more. Disappointed into the set, probably not, but definitely not what you would have expected from Australia.
No, fair enough, as Jack Jimmy takes a set later on the 30. Blair Curtin throws a speculative ball to Dustin Richards, but it's navigated well and he reels it in. Space there on the left, here we go. Kane Nielsen takes it. He's been industrious in this first 20 minutes. Kane Nielsen, he's been every other Storm. Second rower hybrid. As inside ball with Ethan Goodwin. And wrapped up. You saw in that second half against England, Ethan Goodwin loved that inside ball, but just can't quite. Aussie's clearly done their homework here as Nielsen takes another hit up. Pretlove, not a bad reply set there from Scottish.
No, definitely not. I did have to check the channel and make sure the screens were showing the right game and not an NFL game, because we have seen some pretty suspect passes so far to start the game.
Seriously.
But no, look, that was a really good set from Scotland. As we see Australia now, they start their set in their own 20. So that's great to kind of pin them down there. They're going to need a big defensive effort, though, to minimise the attacking prowess of the likes of Bell, Pongston, Dingo, even in the left centres, I believe, with Dom Pongston and KCK at the back. They're four people that you wouldn't want playing your team, and you've got four of them in the team. So that's
oh my god, it's a Sunny special. What?
Wow.
Oh, there's no way. There's no way.
That's pretty crazy. He did take the
Sonny, you are one lucky man.
Definitely one lucky man, but it looks like to be a North Queensland Cowboys special. And look at it, another North Queensland Cowboys special.
Is that Will K? Is that Will K? Put the boot away, Will. Put the boot away. That's unfortunate. As Scotland are now gifted pretty good field position here on the 30. Got to make the most of it now, though, with, 2 minutes down. They've got their second lot of substitutions have just passed on. They have best options here, though. Got to be patient. Beck Goodwin takes a hit. She is hearty. Great hit up there. But yeah, got to be patient. Can't force a ball that's not there. You've got 3 more tackles up your sleeve. Use them all as Blair Curtin eats a defender. Anderson cuts it up, though, as they settle once more. Carl Lewis forced back here. Austrian defense really holding up well. Options, which way they're going. As Hugh Snow takes out Hugh Snow powers. Hugh Snow scores. I mean,
right.
I'd said Carl Lewis was the better runner of the two. Hugh Snow comes and shows me up. What do you think about that try, Josh?
Absolutely. Just a powerful effort there to power through, especially being a smaller half, to be able to pump your legs like that and score the try. That's some great work.
You would have to wonder why the Australian defender, who I didn't quite get the number of, didn't call for help there. But look, Like we said, Scotland needs to take advantage of the field position. They were patient, and that's exactly what they did. Used up their allocation. They score a good try to Hugh Snow as Carl Lewis, I believe, comes to add the extras. As a noted points kicker myself, I know, advise using the wind, which I'm sure Carl's going to do perfectly. Like I said, Panthers don't miss.
I mean, look, you're also talking to another annotated goal kicker as well. As we look back to the SRL records, my 100% kicking record, I am a big fan of using the wind. Didn't get much of a chance to last week, but no, definitely using the wind is something that's pretty good, especially as a goal kicker. It can go really well for you, give some really nice kicks, or it can absolutely play fun and games with you and absolutely throw your kicks out the window.
Yeah, I've got no clue. I just kick ball hard as we get we get started underway once again. Now Scotland are doing what they did to end the game against England. They're completing these sets, putting Australians under pressure, and when they are forced to defend, they are doing a pretty good job of keeping those forwards in check for the most part. Malchus has run havoc early, but they've negotiated an opening 20, and it's 6-6. I mean, it's probably they're in dreamland, wouldn't you say, Bretlove?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I don't think any amount of containment would contain Luke Malchus. Like we saw it in clubland, and we're seeing it in international periods. Luke Malchus is someone that you can't put a leash on. He's just going to do what Luke Malchus wants to do. But yeah, as you said, this is an absolute dream for Scotland right now. We're just over that kind of quarter mark into the game, and it's 6-6. And that's a good attacking kick. I like the attempt at the.
Watch out here! Watch out! Corey Bell's got a good tackle by Goodwin there, as Corey Bell is only narrowly contained. I don't think we highlighted earlier, but kick returns are going to be probably what the Australians are the most killer. It's a great squad, but when you've got Ponkston, KCK, and Corey Bell running it back at you, you'd think that kick returns, those hidden yards are going to be killer for them.
Yeah, to be fair, we just take the tackle, take the changeover, or rubber along the ground, because it takes away that bit of dangerousness from the
100%. As we have now Kerrigan taking the help after Butterfield, KCK, Ponkston, and it's ripped by one of the good ones. Roll the dice, might probably Jasper actually looking at that here. But Australians on the 5th and final now. Out to K, who puts it up. Another bum-ass kick.
And Ethan Goodwin's absolutely leveled.
I'm talking about Ethan Goodwin, actually. The Scottish need to work on getting him some quality pill, because currently they keep throwing the ball inside and he keeps getting folded by the forwards. The Australians will have Ethan Goodwin run in the inside channel at them all day long if it means they're just going to keep pummeling him as Goodwin goes out wide and finally gets some purchase. Pushed back by KCK, but that's what I'm talking about. Give him some space out wide, give him a one-on-one and he'll make him pay. But apparently if you're going to run at a big man, the big man's going to win. That's just how physics works. As Tuxie Og, son of one of the Ogs, his name escapes me, as Jasper Goodwin slices through, KCK makes another covering tackle. Pre-love thoughts so far?
Yeah, look, we hit the 30-minute mark now. I'd honestly probably say that Scotland is slightly winning the battle here. They're looking good. They're getting the ball around. Australia, they're just Australia. They're just completing their sets. They're doing everything right, but Scotland look really good, and they look better because it's Scotland and they're tying with Australia. So I mean, I think they look really good.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about Scotland if I was Scotland about that last set. Really good kick, and Jack Jimmy probably unlucky not to get up there. Sonny Tyre takes a head up just to settle them down, and now Australia gets to work pumping through the Pistons as Milo Kerrigan pushed back from you don't see that very often. Thorne's yelling at him to get in position. Good, Brad Goodwin. Oh, meets his son. Throws a beautiful ball. James Thorne. I didn't know Brad Goodwin could pass. As Australia in the middle of the field now, heaps of space. Brad Goodwin again. He does not have enough balls. 5th and final. Josh Butterfield checks his TAB account and realizes he wasn't supposed to score. Hand over. Sorry, I'm not to cast any aspersions about the TAB account of Josh Butterfield. I'm sure it's prosperous. Pretlove, thoughts on that set in particular?
I mean, look, that was a really good stat. Obviously, Brad Goodwin with his first interactions for the game. And what a better way than to run it at your son and definitely win. He definitely won that tackle. He got the good offload to James Thorne.
If Brad Goodwin bumps off his son, is that child abuse?
I'm not sure. We'll probably have to check the SRL guidelines on what to do in that situation. But look, the set was really good. I'm not a fan of the last tackle hit-ups. I just think just get boot to ball. Like, I don't care how you do it. I don't care. Like, you just put boot to ball. Just do something with it. Or pass it to someone else.
Ponce looking at Jasper Goodwin, who makes the tackle. Jasper's had one hell of a game so far. He's hard to miss, the Ranger. Real small, real diminutive, but what a terror. Slow. Josh Butterfield, get that in your son. Welcome to the big leagues.
Pick the ball next time, mate.
Seriously, Brad Goodwin takes another hit up. He's been industrious in his 13-minute stint so far. As Kevin Walmsley will take it just over the 43. And so far, it's been a fairly muted first half, other than the Casey Key try from Australia, no, Josh? As Sonny Tyre makes a break, he's never seen that much space in his life. 37 metres gain, just outside the 30. Probably going to punt this into the corner as a betting man. Which I am a very good betting man. As Jack Jimmy is wrapped up just in the 20. Again, would you agree with the assessment? It's been fairly muted, Josh?
Yeah, definitely. As Blair Curtin now, I guess he heard us calling it a bit of a muted first half and thought, well, I guess my time's to shine now. That's a good run through the middle there. But yeah, look, there's not been a lot going. I guess it's kind of what you'd expect from a game like this. Nice hard-fought battle in the middle, which has been where it's been. As AMAC takes the hit up just up to the 40-metre line. We've got about 4, I don't know, that was... I don't know how much longer we can... I don't know how much longer we can say backwards at the hand for. That was interesting.
Get out of the way!
Oh.
Sorry.
Cowboys special. Oh, jeez.
Oh, Christ alive. His snow is blowing up Scucks Deluxe right now, and I don't blame him. That is shocking. Get out of the way, you fat... Oh. Let's take the hit up. Apologies for my fruitful language. As Australian settle just short of the 40, actually. Will K off to Tyre, who throws a long ball to beauty, though. KCK takes him inside and knocks it. No, doesn't knock it off.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not sure what's happened there. As my co-commentator recovers in his seat. Kerrigan settles with 4 tackles left. Scotland will do well to hold them out here. KCK, he smells a second, will not get it though. Scott will wrap up well, their 2-man tackle. On the line now, crash ball, Goodwin pushes, Goodwin is held up by his son and someone I can't quite see there. Danger signs ringing for Scotland, no Pretlove?
I'm not too sure, like you said, I'm still recovering. You mentioned that tonight would be colour commentary, I just didn't know what colour we were expecting.
We call it Pacific Islanders, Pretlove, but...
The last tackle here, Butterfield takes himself out of contention for a kick, which not a bad idea, but
sorry.
Funny tired with an absolute...
Carl Lewis, there we go. Carl Lewis makes it to the 40. He's making up for whatever the hell the last 5 minutes has been. I feel like it's been Benny Hill music playing non-stop since that offside kick as Buckley takes a head up, not to be confused with Ross Buckley, Bruce Buckley at 10, great head up. Oh, yeah, finally calls him.
So that one's cool. So that's the limit. Okay.
Let me know. You can only be... Oh, Don Ponkston steps a man. Goodwin with another great tackle. No, he draws the line at the 15th forward pass of the game. Clearly, Josh. Keep up now, mate. As Fulham gets the ball, it settles on the 17-yard line. Tom Ponkston plays dummy. He kicks the Butterfield. Malchus heads it up. And with 15 seconds left, Aussie have to hop on their bike now. Don't take the blindside option. Interesting. Chris Lord takes a head up, and they won't have time. And that'll do us for the first half. And welcome back to our coverage of the Scotland versus Australia end of year tour match. Once again, I'm John Beaumar, proudly sitting in the commentary box with my good friend Josh Pretlove. Josh, you've crunched the numbers. What do they say about that first half?
Yeah, I mean, look, as we look back to the first half there, it was an evenly contested match with the scores being locked at 6-all between the two sides for most of that half. Try a piece to Hugh Snow and KCK for their respective countries. Statistically, as we looked at, Australia hold a slight edge in the possession with 53% compared to Scotland 47%, with a stronger completion rate, 10 out of 11 versus 9 out of 12. Scotland have been a slightly more disciplined, conceding only one penalty compared to Australia with two. On the defensive front, Scotland with 104 tackles, missing 9 of them, whereas Australia had 91 tackles registered, but 14 missed. That's definitely something that Sonny Tyre will want his squad to tighten up in the second half. Notably, Australia's attack, they've gotten through the line a fair bit more, 18 line breaks compared to Scotland's 10. Individually, Blair Curtin for Scotland is someone I'm going to highlight there. Immense running with 94 run meters, 16 tackles.
Okay, run meters are fake run meters. Sorry, please continue.
And Corey Bell, 136 running meters with 3 line breaks. We're all set here for a thrilling second half. Both these teams, they're going to want to step up in their execution and capitalize on these opportunities like that run there if they do want to secure their win for their country.
100% Josh. As Scotland spread away now, Dolan breaks down the wing, wrapped up well though by, believe that's Corey Bell. I think with Scotland, I think the move that interests me the most isn't even the sub, but it's a swap. It's AMAC going into prop for this next 20 minutes. We know how quality AMAC is, right? The Sharks captain as, Dustin Richards kicks. Interesting. Big Goodwin is, Corey Bell breaks the tackle a bit Goodwin, steps Ethan Goodwin. It's a poor last 10 seconds for the Goodwins, as that's not a forward pass. Anyway, Sonny Tyre takes it over the 50, and they're held at the tackle. Tough sequence there for the Scots. But the Australians will be licking their lips at the field position this is going to grant them. I've lost my train of thought now. We continue with where we were. Australia on the 34 metre line. Give or take. Crash ball here. Will K. Josh, looking at that Australian bench, it's a bit of a, murderer's row. Who do you see making that impact in the last 20 minutes when we get our subs?
I'm just taking a look at the interchange bench we've got here. All right. Look, it is a very strong bench. With Carrigan, Goodwin, Johnston, and Christie being on the bench. I can't quite recall from the halftime changes who we've currently got sitting on the bench, but I definitely think having your original forward pack, like your original props, come back on is definitely going to be a help in that last kind of 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's a shocking kick there. As Australia realign now, and you can't be wasting field position like that. Dustin Richards with the head up there, the multi-talented prop, he can kick, he can run. What can't he do, Dustin Richards? Lockie McKenna now with the head up. The Tigers second row, if I'm not mistaken, they're a very, very talented part of that inaugural Tigers squad who, took it all the way to the Final Four before coming just short against, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Storm. But don't fact check me there. Dustin Richards, another head up. For me, from that Scottish team in the first half, my improved... Hugh Snow with a 40-20, that goes absolutely nowhere. I'd isolate probably Jasper Goodwin, actually, out of all the Goodwins, was probably their best. I've never seen a more explosive game from the centre than Jasper's opening 40. He'll be taking a break to come on as a prop in the second half, I believe, in the 60th minute. When they roll through, Scotland opting for some speed off the line. I can't blame them as Lockie Cox breaks straight through. Goodwin wraps him up, but only narrowly. One more thing I'd like to highlight out. I'd be concerned if I was the Scottish leadership about how many tackles Ethan Goodwin's had to make and how that's going to harm his offensive production. We know, naturally, the more defending fullbacks do, the more tired they get, the less they short side play as well. And he's going to have to make another tackle here. No, he doesn't. Shannon Freeburn breaks through him instead. And soft like butter there for Shannon Freeburn, the Manly Seagulls centre. Fantastic try, and Sonny Tyre is elated. Pretlove, break it down for me.
Yeah, look, I'm probably not going to start dancing in the commentary box like you asked. I'm not going to break it down like that. But no, look, that was great footwork from Shannon Freeburn there. Off the left foot, off the right foot, and just sliced through that defensive line. Great way to open up the half for Australia and to, take the score out by another 4 points, with James Thorne looking to continue his perfect record for this championship. Oh no.
Knock us over more, will you? Jesus. Sorry, James.
Yeah.
as the commentator's curse still is very, very potent. Shannon, the Cairns Firehawks junior, probably one of the elite wingers in the competition, and we know that translates quite well to centre as well. That's, you can't be falling off your tackles there if you're Scotland. That's 2 broken tackles and then a stepped fullback. Pretty poor, you'd have to say, but they've been defending like champions this entire game, I think. Look, flush that, get back down the centre, and that's nearly had a gift-wrapped return to them there. Chris Lord-Howler regathers his lollies, and Australia reset at the 22, Josh.
Absolutely. And some of my fellow commentators listening tonight, the commentary curse does not take an off-season break, as we've just seen. So please be careful. But as we see Chad Johnston now, he'll enter the fray for the attack for Australia. We get up over the 40-metre line as we head back infield. Christie with the ball to Lord. That's some great ball running from Lord to get up over the 40-metre line. 4 tackles gone. I believe we're going to go to the right now, back down the right-hand side. Casey Kane now. He'll take himself out of the line for the last tackle kick. Let's see what we do here. Sonny Tyre, we'll give it to Sonny Tyre. But he kicks it over. It's a decent kick. It goes to Justin Dolan. It didn't go out on the full. Like that's, I guess, tick that off. That's a good kick in my book from Sonny Tyre. It didn't go on the full. Ethan Goodwin, though, that's some great footwork from him.
Yeah, great sidestep there from Ethan. And look, I had my concerns that he may be tired, but as we speak about Matt goes straight through. I was concerned he may be tired going into this, second half, all the tackling he was doing in the first. But after a match of defensive work, he's ready to lock in on offense as well. Jack Jimmy, a bit quiet from him so far, but there's heaps and heaps of time for the Scottish. I think that's a great thing about staying in the grind, is that you afford yourself the time to, have some lulls before you get back into it. But they've got some great field position here. What they just decide to do with it, Hugh Snow kicks it sideways, straight down the throat of Dom Ponkston there, actually, instead of I've been calling Corey Bell this entire half. That's shocking. Dom, my apologies. He takes the return. Spreads it now. Chris Lord, another hit up. He's been immense. He's an absolute workhorse, Chris. Nat also announced later in the season that he was off to the Dogs to join his friend David Miranda. Hey, Nielsen, though, picks up the spilt loads from Australia. And now Scotland gets a pounce again. Eric Irvine sent back a recent Mines graduate, if I'm not mistaken, of the Blue Tongues. They'll probably have my head if that's incorrect, but I think I've got my all right there. Josh?
Eric Irvine was actually a Firehawk.
Oh, Jesus.
Daniel Hellier is going to be in the DMs there. He's one of his prized players. Captain of the Firehawks for a number of games, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, no, definitely not a Blue Tongues alumni.
Oh, that's shocking from me. Apologies, Eric.
Steve Goodwin playing the ball on last tackle. Dustin Richards, not a great kick. Well, not a kick at all, really. Will Kay there to clean it up. Classic Will Kay hanging around the halves for the drop balls. As we see Alex Christie now up over the 40-metre line here. Australia, they'll come out dominant for the second half, the start of the second half. Scotland, they've got a bit of work to get them back in. And Shannon, this is going to help.
Yeah, the less said about that, the better. Great run from Shannon, and he throws a ball he probably didn't have to in the end as Beck spreads it now to Eric Irvine, the Firehawk graduate. Takes a hit up. Now Jack Jimmy dodges a ball past mid for Kane Nielsen. He takes a hit up. Kane was immense in that first half too, actually. Real good battling first against a, you'd have to say, star-studded Australian team, the best of the best. The only, I think, opt-outs from this Australian four-pack was Nico Balbrow, who opted to return to the Brethren, with EU getting touched up a little bit in their first game, but to be expected with a younger squad and with the Mediterranean split. Always going to be tough for the Brethren, as Goodwin makes another tackle. And talking about silent MVPs, Beck Goodwin, how good's her defence been, Josh?
Yeah, Beck Goodwin has been absolutely solid for the Bravehearts this evening. And I mean, if you kind of look at the battle of the Goodwins, we've mainly been focusing on Brad and with Ethan. And geez, Chris Lord's taking names today. I guess he's taking advice from.
Sorry, please.
But yeah, Beck's been kind of the unsung Goodwin for the game. Her defense has been really well, and she's taken some solid carries.
Oh, for sure, fantastic. And I highlighted kick returns, but Australia haven't scored off a kick return yet. As Jack Jimmy's going to take that down his throat. Great stuff there. Oh, I thought he'd be off in a way. Brought down again, Jack. Unlucky not to get through. Big dishes now to Amac, who breaks through offload. Another offload. Second phase play's been killer for the Scots so far. But Blair off to Lockie McKinnon. McKinnon breaks the line again. McKinnon's got KCK on the edge there. McKinnon throws it forward. He throws it forward.
I think that's the most backwards forward pass we've seen this evening.
Oh, seriously, that's backwards out of hand for mine. But KCK takes the head up now. He's been quiet, actually, for the most part since his try involvement earlier in the game. Australia dish it wide. Flat ball to Dom Pongston. But Dom breaks tackle, makes it over the 50 now. Well, 3 tackles in hand for the Aussies. Where do you see them going now, Josh?
With 3 tackles gone now, I'd imagine this next one will be a 1-out hit up. No, I'm completely wrong. This is exactly why I don't gamble. Kids, don't listen to me. Sin bin final warning. Jeez.
Yeah, that's on the 3rd or 4th tackle too. That's a coach killer. As Butterfield will do the honours just to get it, pen it into the corner, and the Scottish have to defend for their lives again.
Absolutely, we're closing in on the 10-metre zone as well. They're going to have a full set in the 10 metres of...
Oh, dangerous pass there, though.
Yeah, one that I wouldn't be throwing, especially when you just got the ball and you're going to have 5 or 6 more tackles in their red zone even.
100%. Well, as Sonny Tyre takes a head up now, he decides he wants to do some work, gets off Hooker's ass. Good stuff, Sonny. Plays the ball. Will K's wrapped up there. And he's going to play the ball speed of an elderly pensioner there. But all good. Australia spreads it inside to KCK. Legs are pumping. But he's put on his back. Australians will get one more tackle. You'd imagine bomb. But this Australian team's kept me... No, they won't bomb it. In fact, Josh Butterfield likes the shoulder. He must love the right shoulder of the Scottish forward pack there as he takes the head up there, and it's a rather big waste of a set there. Jasper Goodwin's come on for his stint now. The tiny ranger who's come on as a 99 speed prop. That's going to be really interesting as how he plays against the middles. Obviously, that includes Ethan Goodwin. Sorry, Steps. They're talking about the Goodwins. But obviously, a 99 speed prop is going to make line breaks. But how he holds up on defense, I am unsure as of yet.
Absolutely. I mean, we did see it last week with Wales. They played Jaden Garcia at the full, who was the centre but came on as a prop in the last couple of minutes, and it did work dividends for them, being that high speed prop. So I definitely think it works. I'm keen to see, like you said, how he defensively holds up.
As Pongston takes a quick wee break just before the try line and returns it just to get smoked by the centre. And we have the ball spread out to Luke Malchus to finish off this last 16 or so odd. And you have to say he's probably been one of their best props so far today. As Christie takes a head up there. Apologies, my glasses are failing me there, gents. As Australia spreads it right now, Sonny Tyre doesn't know how to pass, so he takes a head up there. Just short of the 50. The 50, Jasper Goodwin in the middle of the tackle once again. Butterfield forced back. And this Australian side, if they do escape with a win, would be worried about their meters gained. No, Josh?
Yeah, I mean, we were only about a week removed from the alarm bells in Sonny Tyre's office, and they kind of went away with the EU win. But I'd definitely say that the alarm bells are starting to sound, because being 10-6 up over a Scottish side, over a Tier 2 nation, you'd probably be expecting more from Australia. Like you said, their meters gained have not been as high as you'd imagine. As we see Scotland now, they're just spreading the ball. They're getting the balls to their wings. They're not afraid to pass it around. So I'm keen to see how the final 15 minutes go. As we've entered that now, we should see the final lock rotation come on as well, if it has not already.
100%, and I believe Amac swapping with... I'll grab it soon. However, Dom Pongston's got a chance to break a tackle. He does break a tackle, and there goes Ethan Goodwin. Shut the gates. The horse has bolted. The Mohawk has the Mohawk bolted. It'll be a foot race. 10 to go. Now Pongston has him there. But like we said, kick returns would be killer. Dom Ponkston absolutely slices through the Scottish defence like a hot knife through butter. The Blue Mohawk, it's hard to miss him. And Australia have, I believe, the coup de grace there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big fan of stopping the fight early or calling it a little bit before early. We haven't had the fat lady sing just yet. We've got 13 minutes left, and we're going to be 2 scores. We've seen weirder things.
No, fair enough. As without commenting on the conversion, James Thorne slots it. Once again, sorry for that last one, James. 16-6 down. I've seen weirder things happen. They have 13 minutes to make it work. 2 tries. I could see it. But this man, Carl Lewis, is going to lead them, if that is the case. Him, AMAC, and, the contributors like the Goodwins are going to have to find a way to step up and score 10 more and score 12 points to take the win, or 10 points just to draw it. Regardless, they're going to have to cross that white line twice. And they have to start with a turner. Loopy ball, Jesus Christ. Malchus takes it. He doesn't make many yards. He didn't have much time to wind up there. The Australians fighting off their 10 now. Lockie Cox, another head-up, battling game for the far from Lachlan. And as the lead stretches out, I think it's going to come over.
Oh.
Chris Lord, cop that, son. Back to the Cooks for you. Sets to Butterfield, spreads it to Ponkston. But as I was saying, there are concerns, I think, with this Australian side going into the next game they have in this tour. One of them is the lack of punch in the second half. Whatever the subs were, I think you probably need to have a good look at them. 20 metres gained off a kickoff's insane. They're going to have to Butterfield's got to kick to get him out of trouble. That's going to be down to Jack Jimmy now. And Jimmy, his space, he steps and he takes a hit up and will get them just shy of the 50 metre, about a metre shy there. But yeah, like I said, I think we fail to sometimes, I think, give Australia the credit that it is a learning period for them as well, even with, I think, objectively, maybe more talent than the rest of the nations. They're still figuring out combinations and losses, and cop it, Goodwin. Oh, no. James Thorne goes straight through the middle there. But, combinations take a while to settle, if you will. Isn't that right, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. It takes some time to kind of gel together, and they're doing that. Like the Australian teams, they are looking a lot better as the games go on, and the more games they play together, they will start to build towards a force that is reckoned. But I guess another thing is, you mentioned Australia does have a bigger pool to choose from. We are starting to see a lot of players actually starting to actually want to play for these tier 2 nations. So I think the squad they've got here, they're going to have to gel a bit better before this the upcoming World Cup in season 10.
No, 100% as Australia. Now, are they going to have... Oh, what the f*** is that? Oh, it's a try. That's what that is. As Josh Butterfield has brought down over the line. Look, I hadn't seen the genius in that pass, but clearly a looping ball to Jesus is the way. As Butterfield hauls it in and scores. And finally on the 5th tackle, Josh's strategy of just running it at the line pays off. It's now straight belt to ass for the Scottish as the Australians run in another try. Not much to say there. That was one of the passes I've ever seen in my life, and that was one of the tries I've ever seen.
I think you've perfectly summed it up. I wouldn't change a single word you just said there.
As James Thorne will not miss his conversion. I'm not putting the knock on him. He's going to score, and he does. 22-6, and a brave Scottish effort is slowly unravelling, I think. Probably a mixture of fatigue sitting in here for the Scots.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm gonna steal a line from the outgoing Dolphin, Chris Lord. It's early days. It's early days for Scotland. Plenty of time left for them.
I'd be interested to see how Scotland matches up against the English when they do. Not the English, Jesus. Against the Irish when they do play. The Greyhounds going down narrowly to a spirited wash side as Malchus absolutely minces AMAC, I believe. 33 gone. And we'd seen Luke's first spell was immense, and he's just continued that momentum into this, into the last 20 minutes. Lockie Cox, another big tackle from Cox. He's a handful, isn't he? Lockie Cox. As Dingo sits by the field, and Kevin Walmsley somehow gets away with that offloaded ball to Lockie Cox again. A lot to handle there, Cox. As Dingo spreads it out to Butterfield, off to Chris Lord. Another huge set, and now the meters are coming as the Scottish pack is being churned through. Sonny Tyre with a mediocre kick at best to Jack Jimmy, who steps his man finally for the first time it feels like this half. But it will ultimately look like it will be in vain as Amac, another hit up. He's been an absolute soldier today. A proud captain, Amac, Scottish, a former Brisbane captain. But ball shift, ball movement. Where's this been all game? Lightning McQueen, he takes a hit up. The Sydney Rooster, actually I don't know where he is anymore, but he takes a hit up. The man from an unknown club, Lockie McKinnon, the Tiger, up around the 25 now. Scotland in field position. Will they be the last to strike? As the older dash goes, its last try wins. Jasper Goodwin gets the ball. Now on the 15. Hugh Snow or Carl Lewis, whoever it is. I think it's Hugh Snow, yep. Bomb it. Please catch the ball. Yeah. As Scotland don't quite get a result there. Don Pongson with the hit up, with the take. Under pressure, you'd expect nothing less from the composed Knight. Former captain as well. Fresh off you'd say, successful campaign for the Knights all up, even if the finals weren't what they would have hoped for. Walmsley again, huge start from them. Butterfield to Christie, who with another hit up. Former Knight to Knight. Sonny Tyre, ball, that's a sharp ball there. Corey Bell steps Jack Jimmy. Former teammates colliding there. But only 27 metres made. That's it. Chris Lord gets the kicking duties now, but it'll go straight to Ethan Goodwin, who sums up his options and is brought down once again. Just no luck through the middle there for Ethan this game. Probably a good game for him to get some experience in the middle. He'll be off to the Sharks, I believe, following his dad and the rest of his family over there. And we wish the Goodwins the best of luck moving forward there. As Bruce Buckley takes a hit up now, and the Scottish will be... They won't be the last touch of the ball. This will be their last set, obviously, of the game. One of the Goodwins takes a hit up. Fourth tackle here, you'd hope for a spread of some kind, but Bruce Buckley's forced back and they'll be punting this instead. Don Pongson dropping back, but I think the ball's going left to Hugh Snow. And so naturally, I think Corey Bell's going to be on the receiving end of this. He will be, and with the last 20 seconds, Bell gets a chance to make some magic. Goodwin steps up, misses a tackle for probably feels like the first time this game. And that will about do us one more head up. And Australia, Sonny Tyre, how fitting, will be the one to get down and kneel it. Your final score from Glasgow, Australia 22, Scotland 6. Brett Love, your thoughts?
That was Sonny Tyre's first run for the game, was it not? No, look, Australia, they played really well. Obviously, Scotland, they came out firing, and half-time we were 6-all. I did have really high hopes. I do like to back the underdogs here, so I was willing for a Scotland win. But look, 22-6, Australia, they were really strong towards the end there. Looking at the stats, not a lot of changes from half-time. Australia with the skew in possession, 23 out of 27 completions, 17 out of 23 completions for the Bravehearts. That is a little average. You definitely are going to want to fix that up. Same with your 9 errors and 3 penalties that are conceded. Big thing that definitely contributed to the game was the tackles made more. They made nearly 5 or 6 sets worth of tackles more than they actually needed to, actually should have made. And that definitely, you could see that made a big impact with Ethan Goodwin's game.
No, 100%. Look, we talk about defensive output, negating offensive output with fullbacks in particular, and as we'll see Ethan Goodwin's stats in the second. But if you have to make tackles more than you should, you're going to be running less. And I think it was great for Ethan to get that experience, and he still ran for 151 at the end of the day. So, look, if you're making 19 tackles, you probably can't contribute as much as you ordinarily would. But these are learning experience with the Scottish side, very young and very promising, I think. As we run through the contributors for the day, Amac with 160 metres. He's their league leader. He has 27 tackles, short of 36 from Blair Curtin. Jesus Christ, Blair, massive shift there. Lockie McKinnon with 25, and then Nelson and Lewis 18 and 15 respectively. if you've got only, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 over 100, you're not going to win many games. That Aussie pack is for real. They had severely limited a very good EU pack as well for the week previously, so I'm not totally surprised there. But we switch now to Australian stats, and Tom Pogson, 13 runs for 251 metres. Get out of here. Fantastic even from the Knights fullback. James Thorner, 248, 207 for Corey Bell, 182 for Chris Lord, Sonny Tyler with 172 accidental metres, Josh Butterfield with 151, Luke Malchus 116, KCK 108. And then we fell the race Will K, killed Robsy, Lockie Cox with 90, 84 and 69 nice respectively. Again, a quality effort from the Kangaroos. Look, 3 people over 200 metres. But that'll be us from Glasgow. I've been John Bomayava, joined by my good mate Josh Pretlove, signing out for now. Josh, would you end us off there, mate?
Yeah, just gotta hit a chair who. Tune in for...
that'll do us. Never say it again. Tune in for the next game. I've been John Bomayava, and we wish you all a good Monday night.